The guy. It's me. How's it going? How are you? As I like to say. How are you? Oh yeah, Doug. Those are super interesting. I am right there with you. I think I yeah. I think I have all of the above and that too. I don't know if Half-Life on PS2 is really an impossible port, in my opinion. I don't know if I would call that one that. Yeah, I didn't really think about the number, but you are right. You are right. So, this isn't particularly interesting, but I am now a patron of Affinity. I've been headed in that direction for a while, though. I went for the old universal license. Affinity. Affinity. It's a company that makes essentially alternative software to Adobe products. Yeah, 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 yeah. It is no Linux, but there is a guide. There's a guide, and it is here. You definitely don't say that enough to me. Dunk truck. I like that. Seems like it would be a good term for people getting dunked on online. They got run over by the dunk truck. gotta sign in with my dang old ID. Did I not install them all? I guess not. Yeah, I imagine I'm probably gonna have difficulties with the interface as well because I'm used to Adobe. You know, 20 years of Adobe will do that to you. So, what are you gonna do? You know? Strange. I think I've made it all angry. Maybe I close this. Aha. Okay. I was trying to do them all at once, and there's like stacks of like little dialogues that I couldn't find. So I was trying to click on certain ones, and they're just going like ding, 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 ding. I totally agree with normalizing tucking your boys in. I think it's what we need. I think tucking your boys in is the Joe Rogan of the left. Ooh, wait. What? Are you able to just switch between the apps if you just have them all installed? What is this? Oh, no. Wait, yes? What one is this? So publisher has like icons for photo and designer at the top left. That say like photo persona, designer persona, publisher persona. And when I do the photo one, it looks almost exactly like photo 2. Interesting. Yeah. Gonna take some learning. Gonna definitely take some learning to get the swing of this shit.
Twist his dick!
Hey, Lindley, thank you for the biddies. Oh, God, that reminds me of a little meme I saw the other day that I really liked, Dave. There's a picture of one of those. I don't know if you've seen them, but there's like this these wacky couch bed things from China, I presume. They're like a they're like a lounging couch bed all in one thing that you could basically live in. Someone took that and put a picture of Grandpa Joe making a booty face over top of that. It's very good. But yeah, I decided to pull the trigger and get the Affinity Suite and hope that I can get it to, behave on Linux. I don't know. Couch bed thing. I think Foxborn has linked us the meme. All is well. I decided to search their forum, see what the latest is on people constantly mentioning Linux, and it looks like it's still pretty steady. Yep, they have a dedicated FAQ thing. Affinity on Linux? Question mark. Unfortunately, we currently have no plans to bring our apps to Linux. We won't rule it out if the right distro comes along with a reliable deployment platform that will allow us to recoup our development costs for the Linux version. Yeah, yeah. If the right money comes along. I will say that, like, there's too much stuff that's still a goddamn fucking shit show in Linux from the, like, normie user perspective. Like, um, stupid shit that should be, like, easy is just not easy on Linux. Like, if you want to install an application, for instance, people are very used to downloading the exe and running it on Windows. But if you download, like, an app image and you're running Ubuntu, it doesn't come with anything for app image, but it's very commonly used distribution method. And you're required to use the command line to install that. You can't just run that and then have the application running and ready to go. It is kind of wild that that sort of stuff that seems like no brainer, we need to get that figured out, is not figured out. But c'est la vie. Okay. Not CLI required, but like normies aren't going to know to do that shit. Normies are going to try to double click on it, is my point here. Oh, is what it is. I will say these apps do look nice. I don't know the interface, but it's nice looking interface, nice and clean. So I've got something to learn. Anyway, yeah, I had a hell of a Monday. My whole list of to-dos got absolutely blown apart by client urgent request stuff, and I feel like that's my every Monday now. Whatever the to-do list is fucking meaningless. It's not going to survive the day. Shit is definitely going to come up, and there's nothing I can do about it. I just have to roll with the punches. Yeah, it's a to don't list. Yeah, if only it were that easy, but then I wouldn't have a job and yada yada yada. Yeah, if there's like some urgent thing, I really don't have a choice but to do it. Yo, this isn't so bad at first, considering that a lot of the hotkeys I'm used to are already in place. Spacebar, pan around, B for brush, left and right black bracket for brush size. Very nice. V to go back to the pointer. C for crop. Yeah, this is all what I expect. It's pretty good. Yeah, one thing with clients like storming in with urgent stuff is that they often don't seem to really realize how kind of self-defeating that is because um it causes the work to be less thorough because there's less time available to spend on it and you know that sort of thing. which leads to bugs and future issues and so on, right? For the parallel universe. Very close, but some things are strangely different. Fair enough. I mean, that sounds pretty manageable. The only weird thing that I'm encountering so far is this assistant thing. It's a little strange. When I draw with the brush, it goes ahead and makes a pixel layer, apparently, which is fine. And I guess that's because I didn't make one myself. Ah, okay. Huh. Neat. But yeah, I'm going to probably, hopefully soon, replace my Ubuntu install with Arch and get things all set up beautifully for making things, developing things, doing things. That's the plan. And I'm going to try to do the wine thing for the Affinity Suite and maybe Clip Studio as well. Because I don't think Clip isn't on Linux either, right? I doubt it. Clip Studio, Linux. I am curious. Clip Snap Paint. Snap Installator for Clip Studio Paint. I'm curious if, because like a lot of the guides for getting Affinity going are like, use this specific fork of wine. And so I don't know if that'll be an issue because this is also still going to be the gaming PC. So like I'm going to have, Proton Steam going. CSP doesn't run well in wine. God, that sucks. Seems like there's a lot of guides around trying to get it going though, in various distros and methods and so on. What is Lutris? Play all your games on Linux. Interesting. Lutris keeps coming up as a way of running these applications. Looks like it's primarily a game launcher. Hmm. We also very highly recommend installing Wine. This could be any version of Wine, as long as it pulls both 32-bit and 64-bit variants. Lutris will usually not make use of it directly, but the peer dependencies installed from the wine package are necessary to run our wine version properly. Krita? No. Is that another like Photoshoppy thingy? Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'll have to take a look at that as well. Nice interface. It looks a lot like Clip Studio. Well, that's why Clip Studio for me retains a sort of spot in the lineup because it is, as you say, painting first, and that sort of stuff has just never been as good in Photoshop, in my opinion. And Clip Studio Paint is amazing at it. This looks like a knockoff of Clip Studio Paint almost, um, which is fine by me. Looks quite good. So I assume it would have similar hotkeys to that and settings and so forth. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Yeah, Linux native. Very cool. Oh, I've got a lot to do before I get to actually doing really anything, though. Um, I've been kind of debating on how I want to approach switching over to Arch, how I want to deal with the Xorg versus Wayland problem. Probably just use Xorg, I guess. But then I'll have the scaling issue, which I guess I'll just have to live with. I it sucks because I cornered myself into having to go 4K because of the strange little idiot that I am. And it is such a I am so cornered. It's ridiculous. In every way that I could be, I am. You know, like this thing of like how it's put me in this position of the particular things that I want features wise are like dead center between Xorg and Wayland. It's very annoying and very me. Feels like you would think I was doing it on purpose. I am the edge case. I shout as I burst into the room. It is definitely still not like generally feasible. I would agree in terms of that you have to have a pretty high-end video card if you are doing gaming and you want to try to hit 4K native. And that honestly, even the latest video cards, truth of the matter is they're not really up to it. They have to lean on shit like DLSS and frame gen and so on and so forth to get decent frame rates. And etc. and so forth, Monitor wise, I don't think it's so bad. My monitor was not ridiculously expensive, and I think the quality is extremely great. I'm very pleased with my monitor. And visually, I feel like it's worth it. That's been my experience. I think that it is very noticeably crisper and more pleasant to look at in general. There's absolutely no screen door effect at all. That said, I did go straight from 1080p to 4K, so it was a much larger leap for me. But I also had that exacerbated by the fact that I had from work a modern MacBook, which Apple does those like fucking crazy Retina resolutions. So, shit just looks different on a Mac. Hey, can you guys stop yelling at me, please? Shit just looks different on a Mac for sure. So that further exacerbated the fact, I was going from like work to my computer, and then my computer's just 1080p, and I'm like, man, I can see every pixel. And I'm sorry about your eyes, I guess. Teach their own. It's very noticeable for me. But I was really cornered with the RetroTink thing, where it was like basically the optimal resolution for scaling for retro and so on and so forth. I had to have the 4K. And that's what started the whole avalanche of like fucking my setup up to make 4K viable. The fact that I've got it basically all clunking away is something of a miracle, to be honest. That. Yep. Yeah. I mean, I would recommend against it. Um, but I think it's also reasonable to keep in mind that like my particular setup is also like way more sensitive to this kind of problem and causes much more of a like knock-on effect down the road in terms of that, because like it's not just the RetroTink and then the monitor, it's the RetroTink, the monitor, the capture card, the cables, the breakouts, the switchers, the basically like the capture settings in general and the stuff for the stream, the game settings, the etc. and so on. There's like just this cascade effect that happened to me through all of this that that made it far worse than I think it would be for a person who is hinged. If you're hinged, I think you'll have a fine time in general if you're willing to, drop the expense to do it. I'm just saying my shit is a fucking crazy mess. It's just hypersensitive to, you know, these sorts of things, right? And that's because I'm using so many switchers and multiple uh, dependent devices and things like that. That's the issue. HDMI is a pain in the ass, yeah. I think there's ways to mitigate, but it's overall like a bad thing. I would say the thing that really rose to prominence in my mind regarding HDMI throughout all of this was to get a big pile of cables that are 8K rated and call it a day. That way you already have cables that are going to work for every signal. It's basically how I address that issue. But there's all kinds of other fucking problems. Like the information that's passed between devices that's like invisible to you. It's all black box crap. And if a device in the chain has that shit fucked up or wrong somehow, then the whole chain is fucked. Hey, baby.
I meant to take a food nap, but I took a food sleep.
Ah. Sorry. Good morning.
I'm still too full.
I'm sorry for that.
I'm scared to leave.
She is going to attack you when you try to go. Don't be fooled.
Oh no. I know that's a ruse. Anyone would know that's a ruse. It's the same thing like when she licks your mouth.
Yeah.
She like cuddles down, looks away, all sweetly. Like
Yeah.
she's playing coy. Then she strikes.
Yep. I've never had anything like that happen. But yeah, apart from the like little edge cases here and there and so forth, I am glad with the end result. I'm happy with it. Like I said, it looks very nice. So I'm good with that. Yeah, I got nothing else, folks. Monday drained all the life out of me. And this was always just going to be a check-in, basically. So I think I'm going to run for now and try to recover so that I can be here in a better capacity tomorrow. Y'all have a good night, all right? I'll see you next stream.